Good afternoon, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm Evelyn O'Shorty. It's a little bit later in the day than I usually do these things, but we had our delivery arrive and then some other stuff going on and a lot of messages to reply to, and the day kind of got away from me. So heading towards 5 o'clock, and I've decided to read a comic book just to relax a little bit. And what I've read, variant cover by the way, Justice League Last Ride issue 1. Kind of another Zdarsky thing that kind of passed me by. In the same way that the Spider's Shadow did as well. Even though I should have figured this out, like the people who have this down their list are not Justice League fans, but they do get Daredevil and Stillwater, and they did get Spider's Shadow. So I should have figured that one out. And it's going to be a weird review, this one, because I'm going to use it as an example to talk about comic books like overall a little bit, rather than concentrating just on the individual comic book. Now, I will tell you about it, don't get me wrong. And I will review it, but there's some bigger things to discuss here. Just to warn you, if you're looking forward to this one and you've not read it, there will be spoilers. At least I think there will, but that's kind of the point of this. There's certainly spoilers what's happening in here, but the problem I've got with it is I'm not sure if they're spoilers for everyone or just me. Because it's an issue 1 of a miniseries, I agree, but it's an issue 1. For me, that's kind of, that exists in a world where I can give it to somebody who's may never read much of Justice League before. It's a jumping on point and they get to read it and try it out. It's why pretty much all my reviews are issue 1s or standalones, that kind of thing. It means I read it, I get to decide if it's, by my personal standards, I get to decide the quality of the comic book and whether or not it's going to be a good one for people to read. But this one is set in, well, it's set in a time period I'm struggling to place it. Basically because very early on you realise that the Justice League is no more. And I was like, what? Really? Justice League has stopped? I mean, it's been a while since I've read a Justice League comic book. It's now Brian Michael Bendis doing the ongoing. And don't get me wrong, I like Bendis, but after reading all this Superman Knowledge Action Comics and Knowledge Young Justice, I'm taking a break. So I've no idea what's going on in Justice League at the moment. So I carry on reading it. It turns out the Martian Manhunter is dead. I was like, oh, okay. And it was Batman who was responsible for his death, apparently. I don't know exactly why. He sent him off and he died. As a result of it, Superman now dislikes him and Batman refuses to own his mistake, I think it is. But it's also the same period where Alfred still appears to be alive. And in my internal continuity, that's a while ago, but not like a huge amount of time. We're not talking years here, or if we are, it's like maybe 2 years of real world rather than comic book world. And all this makes me think is, have I been putting a lot of my own thoughts into these comic books as I'm doing it, as I'm reading them? Am I still thinking, well, this is what I know, instead of just being able to look at it as a purely standalone thing? And it meant reading this one and thinking about reviewing it, it's a little bit trickier. Will it be spoilers for everyone? Is this a point where everyone can jump on? Because, don't get me wrong, there's a certain amount of knowledge you need to have of characters. Let's use Batman as an example. Do you need to know that Batman's parents killed in an alleyway? Yeah, probably. That's a major thing. Do you need to know which Robin he's on? Like how many there've been? Probably not. Robin's a thing. It's there. Is it number 6 or 7 or 5? Doesn't really matter too much. And in this one, it's like, well, does it matter that the Justice League, fell apart? Yeah, it kind of does. But if it's the simple fact that the Justice League have fallen apart purely for this comic book, then I'm kind of okay with not knowing about it. Kind of okay with this being something that's going to get, hopefully, explained to us throughout the comic book as it's going on. There's going to be information drip-fed to us, which is going to fill in all those gaps and answer all those questions. And I'm looking forward to that, simply because the primary thing that's going on in this appears to be Superman and Batman's relationship, which, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan, and also, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of other characters in there other than these two white guys. But it's such a common thing for the comic books, specifically Justice League, that I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see why they're doing that one. Add to that, Zdarsky is just genuinely a good writer. He's got a knack for voice, which I really quite like. There's an excellent bit with Lobo turning up, and him and a mixture of who's the artist? Mendonca. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that one. Where they have a rather wonderful, just a close-up panel of Lobo as he asks the Justice League to save him, which is particularly gorgeous. But the rest of the artwork, unfortunately, feels a little too just in-house standard. there's a bit where Superman loses temperature and punches the giant penny in the Batcave. And there's like motion lines and a big onomatopoeic sound effect, and then you still get the different pictures of the coin as it's moving, and it's like, wow, they've really over-egged that so we know what's happened. It feels like he's just not trusting the reader to put two and two together and come up with an answer on that one. So yeah, there's stuff I liked about it, stuff I'm not too keen on. Overall, I'd say it's at least promising. And if I am literally the only person who doesn't know the Justice League has fallen apart, I'm probably gonna have some comic book fans who know more about comic books than I do telling me this. That's fine. But if this is something they're doing themselves, then I've got to appreciate what they're doing. I appreciate what they're trying to do, if nothing else. But probably not what I'm going to carry on reading. Let's see how it goes. So that's it from me. I'll go out tomorrow, and hopefully you'll get at least one, if not two reviews. There's a few things I want to get out of the way this week. Until then, take it easy, stay safe. Bye.